Hey everyone, Justin Holland here with the Mad Insurance Show, making a difference in insurance. We got another great show for you today. I've actually got a great nonprofit that I'm really excited about. We've been visiting here prior to the recording of the show. But again, just as a reminder to kick off the show, the Mad Insurance Show, making a difference in insurance, everything insurance. I'm out here trying to get awareness on your health insurance, your Medicare, employee benefits, all the news and stuff that just doesn't get out there or make it to you, we try to make you aware. As always, we've got two agencies that service the San Antonio and South Texas market. Texas State Insurance Services is going to help you out with those individual health, ACA, employee benefits. You can reach us at, or even Medicare as well. You can reach us at 210-880-5316 or visit us online at txstateinsurance.com. And just one more reminder on Palmetto Life Group. That was the agency we created for auto, home, commercial lines of business, life insurance, long-term care planning, which is so important right now, as well as social security analysis. I am a registered RSSA. It's as boring as it sounds, but it's been well received by many of our clients. The number for Palmetto Life Group is 877-357-5316 or palmettolifegroup.com. But I wanted to get the housekeeping out of the way on the show. You're probably scooting around San Antonio right now and dialed into the show for KTSA, or you could be watching one of our clips online within our YouTube channel. Remember, our YouTube is www.youtube.com/at Mad Insurance Show. And you can visit, the entire video and other videos that we've posted from other episodes on there as well. So, our guest today, I want to dive right into it. I've got a little bit of time with Eric Cooper, President and CEO of the San Antonio Food Bank. I got a litany of questions that I want to rapid fire to you, but I'm so glad you're here. Just wanted to get some awareness on the San Antonio Food Bank. I've been to events. I did a tour of the facility years ago. I'm probably due for another one soon
We'd love to have
after
you
we get
come.
that visit. But Eric, welcome to the show. Give us a little background on you to kick things off, and then we'll talk about the food bank if that's okay.
Yeah, Justin. I mean, again, thank you so much for having us on the Mad Insurance Show and really bringing some awareness to the work that we do. We're, one of 250 food banks across the United States that make up a national organization called Feeding America. Now, we're all independent, nonprofit 501(c)(3)s, so it's a local board, local authority, but we work together in collaboration and sharing of resources. We serve 29 counties here in the great state of Texas. And within those 29 counties, we have about 800 different partners and we feed about 140,000 people a week. So just in concept, we're procuring food literally from the field to the dinner table. Every, organization, farm, manufacturer, entity that has food that's producing it for sale, if it's not sold, then we're recovering that food and then we're distributing it through those partner organizations, those 800 throughout the 29 county, or our own programs to feed about 140,000 people a week. So it's a lot of logistics, a lot of moving parts. We're known for our efficiency, the ability to leverage a dollar. We take that super serious because we think of the widow's mites. We think about those donations that come in. We want to be the best steward of it and deliver the biggest ROI to the families that we serve.
What drew you into this field or this organization? I'm curious, and I
There's
just want to let the audience know.
Yeah, long story, but I mean, I think I was a young entrepreneur and wanted to, conquer the world and then had a life experience.
Wow.
I was selling my business about the time I found my father, who was estranged from our family for several years, and he was homeless on the streets of Portland, and he survived because a woman that had a catering business drove a little catering truck and pulled into businesses and sold her food. And at the end of the day, whatever food she didn't sell that was perishable, that wouldn't make it to the next day's sales, she drove the streets and and fed the homeless. And so, that experience and knowledge changed my life. I pivoted from for profit to nonprofit and thought, I could no longer see someone in need as a stranger. I saw him as a brother or sister, a mom, or for me, I saw him as my dad. And what could I do? How could I use my gifts, talents, to help nourish, feed? And I'll never forget that woman who I know probably at the end of her day, probably had obligations, kids, and, was tired, but, took it upon herself to make sure that someone was fed. And that was really my opportunity. And it's been an incredible journey and blessing. That was now 33 years ago.
Wow.
So, but I've loved the opportunity to be useful. I think it's a privilege to serve. And, we sit in the crossroads between those that have and those that don't have. And I see people living in their finest hour when they're selfless and they're sharing and they're caring about neighbors. And I'm so grateful to San Antonio and the amazing tradition of the San Antonio Food Bank.
Man, that's an incredible story. I'm glad you shared that with us because there's so much noise out there. It's exhausting. So many problems going around domestically, internationally. And when I hear stories like what you're telling me right now, it gives you that, that optimist that we were talking out in the lobby, just, hey, things can be bad, but we still got good people that care and want to help.
Yeah.
And they're doing that. And you saw that firsthand and look what it did for you. I mean, that's incredible.
Well, it's such a privilege, right? I believe in the power of service, and I think um, the food bank, we believe we serve both those with resources and those without. And when you're helping someone live in their finest hour, right? Betterment. Um, I don't think of what I do as sales. I really think of it more as coaching. And there's a need. Many people believe religiously that they should help feed the hungry. Maybe they're trying to be the person their parents wanted them to be.
Yeah.
Um, Ultimately, I think the sweetest spot is when people become the person they want to be and discover why they're on the planet. What greatness are they destined for? And if our organization can help them live in their finest hour, it's incredible. And what I mean by that is just service. It's like people always think, well, yeah, I'm going to come and volunteer. I think I can help those in need. And they come thinking, well, I'm going to bring something. But they end up taking something
Oh yeah.
away, and it's this transformation, recalibration. I always think in this season of such mental health struggle, when there are so many problems globally and here at home, and anxiety and depression, that the quickest and easiest way to kind of lighten your load or your burdens is honestly just to take the burdens of someone else on your
Mm,
back. And
I
it
couldn't agree more.
it seems counterintuitive. You think like, "Oh, wait a minute, that'll just crush me faster." But it doesn't. It just it service has this ability to heal what's broken in us, strengthen us to go through our own trials better because we've helped someone else with theirs. And
You don't feel that until you try it. You got to experience it.
it is so true. You can't sit on the sidelines. You have to get in the game. And the truth is, now, I've been doing it a long time. The data actually suggests volunteers live longer than those that don't. And people are like, okay, Eric, I get it from a mental health standpoint, but from a physical health point, it's the same. And so you can't volunteer because you want to live longer. It has to be altruistic, it has to be pure. And when it is pure, that's where the real magic happens.
And I think I see that day to day because we have so many clients in the Medicare part of the industry and segment, and I see individuals that are retired and they donate their time, and man, do they seem happy and they're alive and they're making a difference. Mad, trying to do that, which That resonates in us, and it keeps us going as well. And it's a reminder, hey, get in there and start serving. Just whatever little you can. I think it'll pay big dividends. A couple things that I wanted to dive into before I forget to ask you this is obviously you came into this role at the San Antonio Food Bank, and where you found it and where you're on today. You've obviously seen that growth. We just mentioned a minute ago outside in the lobby as well. You got an exceptional team.
Yeah.
Give us some context on where we're at, or where we were, and where you're at today with the food bank.
Yeah, so, I grew up in North Texas, and, worked for the North Texas Food Bank in the Dallas-Fort Worth area for many years, and then, was recruited 25 years ago, in 2001, to be the CEO here, and, there's so much need when you think about this area of Texas. It borders Mexico. There's some real high rates of poverty and significant food insecurity amongst children. And so we've really just tried to build relationships with the food industry. Um, the Winter Garden has a lot of incredible farmers. Obviously, we've got a great retailer headquartered here in HEB,
Yeah.
but really look at where is there opportunity to strategically acquire food, and then what's the distribution model to get that food to families. I think a lot of times people hear about the San Antonio Food Bank when we're hosting a food drive and we're asking people to donate a non-perishable food item. And so they assume, oh, well, they only do non-perishable, but that's farthest from the truth. Most of the food that we distribute is perishable. Almost 40% is fresh produce. But we're rescuing mostly uh, um, grocery items that you would pick up at like an HEB Plus or a Super Walmart. So it's refrigerated, frozen, non-perishable, and non-food. And so the team at the food bank is really trying to efficiently get food from those that have it to those that need it, and then engaging a lot of volunteers in the strategy that bends our cost curve, right? Like, I use the phrase, we want to squeeze the buffalo off the nickel. And that is um, our commitment. Like, we want to be the most efficient nonprofit on the planet.
Okay.
And there are a lot of third party watchdog groups. If you're donating to charity, you might have done some research on the charity that you're giving to. And I highly recommend that, right? Don't just willy nilly give out money. You want to know who you're giving to. Go to their website, see if their financials are present. You're going to find mine there, right? We want to make sure people know that out of a dollar you give us, 98 cents goes directly to
How
those in
cool
need.
is that?
We run the food bank on just 2% administrative overhead. There's not another nonprofit that's doing that. And that kind of efficiency, again, squeezing the buffalo off the nickel, um, can't be done without great strategy that comes from our community. And that's volunteers, it's programs that transform lives. But yeah, if you've got a little bit extra time and want to learn more or give more, please think of us at the San Antonio Food Bank.
We're absolutely going to give out details on how to reach out to the San Antonio Food Bank when we wrap up our nonprofit segment here in a minute. I Before I forget to bring this up, I'll never forget on social media. This is when COVID was, really starting to just ramp up, and there was that aerial photo or video of the lines of the individuals that were seeking help from the food bank. And I mean, that was a national news video. If you think about it, I know exactly what I'm talking about. Where I'm going with this is the demographic, the profile of those that you serve. We absolutely want to make sure people are donating time, money, effort into the organization. Who I'm sure it's vast. Can you give us an idea of who receives that benefit? Who gets it, and who could reach out to y'all to get help?
Yeah, no, super important. Thanks for bringing it up because I know, again, the 140,000 people we feed each week basically could be represented in three areas. About a third are seniors, about a third are children, and the middle third, 18 to 65. Most are working, um, but the most common profile is female. She's uh, got children. She's, again, working, and she's a Latina. She's doing everything she can to keep the household afloat, but if the car breaks down or a hot summer with high utility bills, kids maybe not getting fed because of school lunch and breakfast, school being out, like all of those variables just put a pinch on her. Right now, she's struggling to put gas in her car and food on the table. And so those exchanges are what we see. Now, she leans on us when she has to. Kids and seniors tend to lean on us more often. There's a phrase we use, again, it's that people should work according to their ability but receive according to their need. And we need people to work, right? The power of work. But where the economy doesn't provide the jobs with the wages that allow for a worker to pay their rent and buy food, rent eats first in every household,
Yeah.
and it's high,
Shelter.
and it just doesn't leave enough to kind of, make ends meet. And so that's where a family might lean on the food bank seniors. And we're so grateful for what you guys do at the agency to help navigate seniors to the best health plan that they need at the most affordable price. Because, when you're living on a fixed income as a senior, healthcare tends to be one of those big bills next to rent that can squeeze out any nutrition in their household. So it's so important that the food bank's there to be the safety net to rescue, and we do what we can to make sure that people are nourished.
We I got and I'm this is going to go into my rural outreach question here in a second, but we did a, pop up food drive where I'm sorry, I know not a drive, but that pop up market in the ACOG parking lot off of Perrin Vital and 410. Partnered with Communicare on that, and then my friends at ACOG, we've got a great partnership with them. And I will never forget it, Eric, because it was absolutely freezing that morning. It was like February or something. And we saw people pull up in their cars. We saw people walk from their homes. We saw people getting off of a bus just to make it over to that event that we created.
Yeah.
And that's, man, that hit me. There's a lot of moments in my life where I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
that video I saw,
Yeah.
or seeing it real time on what little thing that we thought we were doing. And it was a big thing for some individuals that came in that freezing morning to get some produce. So I just want to remind our listeners, I mean, we're doing a lot of good, or you guys are doing a lot of good with that. We're just trying to help facilitate that in some way on some of these locations. But the rural community, you've got this sprawling, as we know, San Antonio is a sprawling metropolis, so to speak. You know, that's got to be a challenge to get out to some of these rural demographics. And you guys are obviously up for the challenge, but can you go into a little bit of detail there?
Yeah, well, again, 29 counties. So we go as far north as San Angelo. We go as far south as, let's say, Catula. We go out to Seguin, and then out west, Edwards County, Rock Springs, almost to the border. So, um, there's a lot of miles there, and there's small cities, small populations, but in some cases, significant need. And so, those mobile markets that you spoke so passionately about, we do those in every single county,
Did you? Oh, I
all
didn't realize that.
all 29. And in addition to that, we might have a church or a food pantry that's there in those communities. And we're just trying to solve the logistics and getting families access to nutrition. And that photo you talked about, it was at Traders Village. It was at the onset of COVID when you know, we didn't know what the virus was going to do. There was such a run on the grocery stores. The supply chain was having a hiccup, and you could go to the grocery store and there wasn't any bread,
I
or there were
remember those aisles
yeah, empty
bare.
shelves. And so in some ways, if you didn't have money and you just lost your job, or you did have money, but you couldn't source groceries, we saw 10,000 households that day, um, about 50,000 people served, and um, it was a incredible shot. William Luther, photographer for the Express News, captured that image. And, I remember it was a sun up when we were there from 6 to 6. It was such a tough day. We had no clue that there was going to be that many people coming. We went through 26 semi truckloads of food.
26. Wow.
And, you know, volunteers that were amazing. I stayed to the end. Um, the last car to be loaded was a minivan, husband and wife. Um, they met working at the same hotel downtown. They had three beautiful children, and and they said they knew something was wrong when the general manager invited all employees to work. And he said that we stood in the hotel lobby, and he said, "We don't know what the virus is going to do, but there's no guess. And with no guess, there's no money. And with no money, there's no jobs. All of you are being let go until we know what's going to happen."
Wow.
And he said, we drove home thinking, how are we going to pay for our house? How are we going to pay for this van? How are we going to feed our kids? And we saw this distribution and thought, we better come. And I loaded the groceries. The three heads, popped up along the back bench of the back of the minivan, and those little girls so excited to get the food. And I was just apologizing because it had taken so long. And they were like, "Don't worry about it. We knew it was going to be a long wait. We brought some coloring books and stuff for the girls, but our city rallied,
They did.
and it captured in one photo what I think the pandemic was going to be all about. And it was meeting basic needs and coming together as a community. And, you know, humbly, that video or that photo that William Luther took ended up on the cover of the New York Times. Well, the next day I'm on the Today Show. I'm on Dr. Phil. I was on 72 different media
Were
channels
you really?
globally, just trying to help people understand, like, what's going on with the pandemic. And so, you know, we were talking earlier about the tradition of this great city, and so goes the Alamo, so goes Texas, and so goes the nation. We have such an incredible spirit here that really has a rippling effect, and I saw that rippling effect around the world when it came to how to show up for a community that was struggling with an unprecedented pandemic. And I was privileged just to be a small part in it.
How cool is that? Everybody, you're listening to the Mad Insurance Show, making a difference in insurance. I'm your host, Justin Holland. I'm accompanied here with President and CEO of the San Antonio Food Bank, Eric Cooper. We're going to wrap up with just a few more questions for you, and then we'll let you get on with your busy Monday that we're going to kick off. Everybody on the show is going to be listening to us this coming Saturday. But one important question that I wanted to bring up, and then we're going to talk about how people can reach out to you and assist and donate time, money, and effort into the food bank. We just talked about those pressures during COVID. People are like figuring out how they're going to pay their bills. What's the biggest pressure you're seeing right now as it relates to the food bank and what you guys are trying to do? I'm curious what that is.
Yeah, so we frame our work into three areas: what we call food for today, food for tomorrow, and then food for a lifetime. And when you think about our food for today strategies, it's really groceries and meals, trying to get people physical food when their cupboards are bare, their refrigerators empty. And so when you call us at 210-431-8326, if you're in need, our staff will direct you to the closest food pantry or program where we can get you physical food. But we're going to ask you if you'd like to participate in our Food for Tomorrow strategies, which includes applying for those federal safety net programs like the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, or if you're a mom, women, infants, and children, or if you're a senior, long term care, or the Children's Health Insurance Program, Medicaid, all of those federal safety net programs, as you know, sometimes they're complicated,
Yeah, they
right?
are.
And it takes navigation. The SNAP application, it's like the 1040. You need TurboTax to get through it, right? And the food bank has become the TurboTax of the SNAP application. So we help families draw down those benefits.
Okay.
And when you think about the most difficult kind of moment that we're experiencing is, I think people's lack of understanding of those safety net programs. There's a lot of stigma, there's a lot of accusations. I tell you, there's no perfect program, but we just don't see the fraud and abuse that's sometimes talked about. And so I would just encourage the government and private businesses to partner together. I'm a private nonprofit organization. I'm going to do what I can, but I need the federal government to do what they can. And that's where communities get served. And I think we've seen over the last few years this kind of pullback of support, and it's creating a gap that candidly I worry about. I just don't know that we will be able to get private philanthropy to meet that need. And so you need both. You need good, effective public policy for those federal programs, and that's how we'll survive. The last area of our work is what we call food for a lifetime, and that's really going back to that principle that people should work according to ability, but receive according to need. And when you think about the kids and seniors, not a lot of ability to work. So we're going to need to feed them. But those 18 to 65-year-olds, how can we provide channels for workforce training, the ability to have a pathway to a higher wage? When you think about hunger in our community, it really isn't a food issue as much as an income issue. It's they don't have the dollars, and that could be because of a low wage job. It could be retirement and a low social security payment and just not having enough. And so we are trying to fill those gaps with good nutrition with food, but we can't do it alone. Everybody's got to do their part, and I think we'll weather these storms in front of us if people will come to the table, work together, uh, focus less on our differences but
Yeah,
more about our commonalities. Man, it is a great country. This is a great state. We got a great city, and we can solve these problems if we just lean in and work together.
I could not agree with you more. Love San Antonio. Love our community. Love what you guys are doing with the San Antonio Food Bank. As we wrap up, just remind us the phone number, the website. I want to make sure we drive home where individuals can go, and then we'll wrap up the segment for
Yeah.
San Antonio Food Bank.
Well, again, just visit our website at safoodbank.org, San Antonio Food Bank. So safoodbank.org. If you're in Comal County, we have the New Braunfels Food Bank,
That's right.
nbfoodbank.org. San Angelo, it's the San Angelo Foodbank.org. And we have the Frio County Food Bank down in Pearsall. So all of those branches are a part of the great tradition here at the San Antonio Food Bank. If you'd like to donate, you could call us at 210-337-3663. Again, 210-337 food. If you'd like to donate, volunteer, or give resources. If you're in need of help, you can always call our helpline at 210-431-8326. Again, a website we find is the best, safoodbank.org. That'll get you to anything and everything that we've talked to within our 29 counties. But thank you so much for having us on, the opportunity just to educate folks about how to get involved or how to get help.
You bet. I hopefully we'll have you again, Eric, in the future as we get into the fall, because as we know, we have no idea how things will shift, and we want to make sure we get that awareness. I'm so glad you brought up all the other locations because our radio show and online show reach everybody in the community, and we're looking forward to seeing how we can help us, our organization and agencies, but also the San Antonio community rallying as well. But everybody, we've just wrapped up a segment, our nonprofit segment of the Mad Insurance Show with Eric Cooper of the San Antonio Food Bank. He's the president and CEO, and they're doing some great work over there. Reach out to him when you have a moment. Hey everyone, Justin Holland here, back with the Mad Insurance Show, making a difference in insurance. We just wrapped up a great segment showcasing the San Antonio Food Bank. Had President and CEO Eric Cooper join me. What a cool guy. We had him talk about the San Antonio Food Bank. We went around some questions that I had for him. We were able to get some information out there based on the show. So thank you so much for tuning in and listening to that. And if you missed that and want to get back to it, you can actually go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ at Mad Insurance Show, and you can actually take a look at what we discussed. We'll have some clips and some details on how to contact the San Antonio Food Bank, and we will make sure that's listed online as well. So that was a great visit. Can't wait to see what new nonprofit we have in the coming weeks as well. But the San Antonio Food Bank, everybody, check them out and see how you can donate some time, money, and effort into their cause. As a reminder, the Mad Insurance Show is sponsored by agencies Texas State Insurance Services and Palmetto Life Group. Texas State Insurance Services, remember everybody, for individual health insurance, Affordable Care Act, health coverage options when you need that more affordable option to go against the Affordable Care Act, as well as employee benefits, maybe even some travel insurance when you need it. If that is the case, if you need to look at a specific scenario for your business or valued employees, we'd love to visit with you. The number at Texas State Insurance Services is 210-880-5316, or you can visit us online at txstateinsurance.com. Remember, Palmetto Life Group is our agency that basically focuses on our life insurance, long-term care planning, social security analysis as it relates to their retirement, as well as auto, home, umbrella, and commercial lines of business. If you need any help in that part of the industry, give us a call at 877-357-53, or you complete our contact form, give us a call, and we'll reach out to you immediately and see what we can do to try to help you save some money on all of those insurance needs. But what I wanted to do on the rest of this show was basically discuss some health coverage details and some scenarios there. I think it's important because we're having more and more individuals, and I talked about this with Luis Moreno on last week's show with him being a guest, is we're seeing more and more individuals losing their subsidies for whatever reason, which is increasing their price. Maybe they already lost their subsidy for affordable insurance and they were just trying to hold on as long as they could and pay those premiums, and they're falling off. But we have a solution, and it's not for everybody, but it's being an option for most people. And I wanted to kind of dive into some scenarios there because it's significant savings. And I put together a basically a sheet of the Affordable Care Act health insurance versus our health coverage options. And this is for 2026 premiums. It's a comparison specifically in San Antonio, and it's going to round out to most all of Texas. And it's basically side by side. The numbers are exactly what they are based on the ages that I put in here. And I did segment ages on these from age 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60 years old, those individuals that are just, not Medicare eligible yet, and what that looks like. And I had basically quoted some bronze plans, which if you're not familiar, the Affordable Care Act plans start out at bronze level, then they have several silver, gold. There are platinum plans available, but typically in other states. Texas is just going to be a base bronze, silver, and gold. But I quoted basically a comparison on all of them, the bronze plans, the gold plans, and the silver, compared to this health coverage option that we've got. And age 20, let's say it's a college student around that age, whether they're in school or not. If they went to the marketplace and did not qualify for a subsidy for whatever reason, they're expected to pay $345.44 for a bronze level United Healthcare plan. Great plan. We do a lot of business with United Healthcare, like what they're doing. Unlike some carriers, they've struggled. United Healthcare is really, I think, getting better and better in the Affordable Care Act arena. Hopefully, they stay in as an option in the following year because we're seeing more and more carriers pull out. Hopefully, they'll stick it out and grow into 2027. But there's a bronze standard plan that would cost $360.93. So that's a little bit more expensive. If the individual wanted to do a gold plan, I quoted out two plan copay options. That's going to raise you to 458.48 a month. The other higher tier gold plan was going to go to 469.17. That's a zero deductible plan with copays on everything else because there's no deductible, and you're basically got co-insurance or copay right off the bat. And then I even quoted a silver plan. Now, it's a little weird on the Affordable Care Act. Silver plans are the only tier level where you can get extended or expanded subsidy assistance, and that brings the lower premium down, but it also lowers the deductible and maximum limits and copays for those plans. It's income driven, so you got to qualify for it, but it's weird because if you don't qualify for a tax credit, it's going to be $531.32. So, believe it or not, gold plans on the Affordable Care Act are less expensive than the silver option for those that don't qualify for a subsidy or tax credit. And Luis brought up a good point last week. Listen, subsidies are still there for individuals. It was just the extended subsidies for, let's just call it the middle class, that basically got taken away, or you just didn't fulfill your income verification documents or authorization to continue getting your credit. But I want to wrap up with our health coverage option. And this is going to be with a $10,000 maximum out of pocket. So we could get you the lowest premium rate. And that's going to start out for 20 years old, mind you, $126.58. Okay, a month, and that's going to provide you with 50/50 co-insurance right off the bat until you hit a maximum of 10,000. Now there are options that I've put together on our comparison sheet that shows $10,000 maximums, 7,500, 5,000, and 2,500. So you've got multiple options and scenarios based on what you can afford or what you want that risk to be and that exposure to be. God forbid something were to come up. I will tell you, even the $2,500 maximum out of pocket options are reasonable. But at 20 years old, $344.44 versus $126.58, that is significant savings that you need to take a look at. And you need to reach out to us at Texas State Insurance Services. I'm not going to go over every scenario, or I might. You know what? Let's just gonna run into it. Um, Age 30, okay? An entry level bronze Affordable Care Act plan, and we're just talking for one person, is typically going to be $404.20. Okay. The alternative option that we've got, $149.79. Again, significant savings on the premium. Okay. And it's health insurance, true health insurance with the state of Texas. Um, Age 40, those plans, entry level on the marketplace or Affordable Care Act, healthcare.gov, whatever you want to call it, $455.12 versus $183.27. Again, we haven't even broken $200 a month, and we're already up to age 40, 30, and 20 years old on the individuals. Now, it breaks 200 once you hit age 50. So, age 50, a bronze plan on the marketplace would typically be $636.03, entry level plan. If you wanted a higher tier plan, you're looking at 664, 844, 863, or 978. Our option, $293.23 for an individual, 50 years old. Okay. Again, dramatic savings from the lowest tier marketplace to the highest tier. Age 60. Let's talk about that. If you're age 60 listening to this and you're just fed up with your health insurance costs, let's take a look and quote this option for you because the entry level bronze Affordable Care Act plan starts out at $966.51. If you wanted a higher tier plan, that's going to go to $1,009. A gold plan is going to be anywhere from $1,282 to $1,312. $1,300 for a gold level marketplace plan a month, or silver options if for some reason you're enrolled in that, 1486.61. Our health coverage option, the alternative that we're bringing to our clients, is $537.59. Okay. For a 60-plus-year-old individual. Now, if you're older than 60, that could increase a little bit, but we wanted to do on this comparison age 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60 years old. But from having traditionally just the only option of $966 a month for a health insurance plan, and we can cut that in half almost to 537.59, there's no doubt you need to reach out to us. And what's cool about this is if you meet the underwriting guidelines, we can actually enroll you by the 20, we can actually get your application in by the 20th of the month and then get you an effective date of the first of the following month. That's important. So we're on a time crunch there. If it was an Affordable Care Act plan, we've got until the end of the month if you have a special enrollment period or a qualifying event to get next month coverage, but a lot of times that's not the case. So where I'm going with this is it's time sensitive. Reach out to us, let us know, hey, Justin, I heard you on the radio or I saw the online clip. We're looking at trying to get some alternative coverage options or some lower cost options. Can you help out with that? And our team will absolutely be able to help you out with that. I've got some great ladies in the office that will help us put together some quotes. I have my hand on every single application and enrollment that goes through our agencies. So just know that we are hands on. If you need a visit with me personally, we can line up an online meeting or call, or you can make it to one of our workshops that we have every month that we're going to be kicking back off here in the coming weeks. But the savings is significant. And I know a lot of individuals out there are just sick of the premiums that they're having to pay per month, and they just don't think they've got the coverage or health insurance in place that they need. Let us double check that. This has been a great alternative for our small group clients. A lot of individuals have small group business plans, and they're just getting hammered on renewal after renewal that's increased to double digits. This is a scenario where we could possibly incorporate this into small group plans, okay? Or the family members that might not qualify for subsidized coverage because of the family glitch legislation. Now, I don't expect you to know what that is. We'll explain that to you on our one-on-one visits. But bottom line is, if you don't have health insurance now and you need insurance, reach out to us. We're probably going to be able to help you get into an option, okay? And we'll figure out if there's either a special enrollment period or you can get enrolled in their health coverage options for a July 1st effective date or preceding first of the month, any month after that. But we are here to help you look at that if you don't have insurance. If you've got insurance right now and you're just sick of the premium or just there's just not happy with it, let us know and we'll do a comparison. We'll compare what you have now on the multiple options that we might be able to help out with. You might be a small business owner that's offering a small group plan and you're trying to figure out, hey, do I keep this in place or do I have Justin and his team at Texas State Insurance Services come in and look at scenarios and options that we can make sure we better serve the valued employees for your organization with benefits. Because I'll tell you, these premiums are just not showing any signs of going away on the higher renewals in the future. So we want to make sure we prepare you for that. Maybe you're on an individual plan and you're not Medicare eligible yet, but you're spending much more than what you would like to. And you're like, Justin, I'm relatively healthy. I really don't have anything going on, yet I'm paying a fortune for these premiums. That's where our health coverage option is going to come into play and possibly help you with an alternative solution. So, whether you've got insurance or you don't, reach out to us. Let us know how we can help. That number at Texas State Insurance Services is 210-880-5316 or visit us online at txstateinsurance.com. Let's dive into a little bit more of the details on this sheet. And if you want this comparison sheet, we can help you with a custom made comparison of the quotes and options. But if you just wanted something roughly to maybe share with some family members or with some employees, give us a call and we'll send this over to you. It's a pretty informative sheet. I like it. It's pretty slick and breaks everything down. Some of the items that we break down on the sheet is the fact that 63% less than lower cost of Affordable Care Act bronze plans. That's more than 50% savings on premiums. 63%. 54% less than lowest cost ACA programs for age 50. Okay, the 63% was age 20. It's still 50% savings or more for those that are over 50. Less than 44%, it's actually 44% lost cost savings for those that are 60 years old. So double digit 60, 50, and 50 plus poor percent of savings off of that. You got to take a look at this because of the savings off of that. Now, when we compared this on this sheet, I'm showing the Affordable Care Act bronze options, gold, and silver. Okay. And we break everything down where the maximum out of pocket and deductible on those bronze plans that I quoted in this comparison are $10,600. Okay, versus the alternative that was just going to have a flat 10,000. However, you have 50/50 co-insurance until you meet that maximum limit. So the health insurance, excuse me, is actually going to kick in day one. You don't have to meet some crazy $10,000 deductible before you get some assistance from your insurance. Now you're still going to need to pay. You're going to pay 50% of that. Granted, the doctor or the facility or whatever you have done is within network. It's a First Health network, very robust network. We will help you make sure doctors are in it or doctors can get in that network, just like any growing company and alternative. They have growing networks. They've got to compete and catch up with some of those insurance carriers that have established networks. But I mean, huge savings that you need to consider, and we'll help you review the fact that there's no disruption in doctors. I will tell you, there's such a significant savings. Maybe it's time to switch a doctor. Maybe you're ready to go to another primary care doctor or want to find somebody different. This is a great option or reason to do that because of the significant savings as well that we're showing for our clients. So, at a glance, we added this into our sheet, and again, I'll try to see if I can create an image on this on our video online. If not, reach out to us and we'll send you over what I'm referencing on the worksheet that we created regarding Affordable Care Act insurance, healthcare.gov, marketplace, whatever you want to call it, to our health coverage option. Now, the Affordable Care Act is typically going to be a government regulated health insurance. It's going to be HMO referral based on most requirements. There are some EPO plans that are available. Max out of pockets on those higher tier or those lower tier level plans, 7,800 to 10,600. Subsidies are typically available on that if you qualify. Pre-existing conditions are covered. There's no waiting periods. So that's a plus on the Affordable Care Act options. Maternity's included. It's ACA mandated. Preventative care is baked into that coverage as well. It's a zero cost. That is ACA mandated. When I say ACA mandated, Affordable Care Act mandated, that has to be baked into the insurance, has to be offered. It's one of the reasons why you see those increased premiums because they're having to bake in, you know, the pre-existing condition clause that no matter what, you're going to be covered, as well as, the maternity needs. Whether you have a child or not, it's baked. The maternity cost is baked in there. The cost from age 20 to 60 is going to vary from or swing from 345 to 966 a month, unsubsidized, which is significant. Um, the ACA plans are going to be best for those that qualify for the subsidies, or maybe you've got a serious pre-existing condition. No question, that's probably going to be the route we need to go. And reach out to us if you've got a special enrollment or at least want to quote the Affordable Care Act plans if that applies. Now, our health coverage option, what makes it different, it's 100% real insurance. It's not a sharing ministry plan like what you see out there. It's not a coverage plan that's underwritten by a life insurance company or carrier, which a lot of people will tell me, hey, I've got this health insurance and it's not very good, Justin. Can you help us out? Right off the bat, most of the time I ask them, okay, do you have your ID card with you? Yeah, I do. Okay, can you look at the bottom of one side of the ID card, whether front or back? Does it say life insurance company and this is not health insurance? Well, actually, yeah, it does. Okay, you've got health coverage. You don't have health insurance, and ultimately, we need to help you look at some alternatives there. So, a lot of people are on those plans and they don't find out what they have until the emergency hits, and they're scrambling to try to get a different solution. And sometimes you just run out of time. It's too late, or by the time we can help fix it, you know, you've already gone through some serious medical costs and all of that. We will look at every situation and scenario and see what we can help out, though. The maximum out of pocket on these plans, the ones that I quoted in this worksheet, are going to be $10,000. Okay, it's a firm cap. There's no surprises, and it's a 50-50 split until your cost hits $10,000. Now, there are some lower maximum out of pockets. There's the 10,000, 7,500, 5,000, and 2,500. So those lower out of pocket maximums will have a higher cost to them, but there's still going to be significant savings probably compared to what you have. So it might make sense to start out at a lower out of pocket maximum. Now, keep in mind, our health coverage options are not going to be ACA subsidized. So that is important for you to know. And the premium is what it is. There's no assistance on that. There is pre-existing condition clauses in there. There's a questionnaire. There's some knockout questions that we send to our clients during the process of reviewing this, and say, hey, do any of these questions, would there be an answer yes, or you would be subject to? And a lot of times it's going to eliminate you. So, but at least you know. And most of the individuals that we quote pass in and they're good to go. Some of them got some stuff where we need to look at maybe an alternative solution with the Affordable Care Act plans or a small group health insurance plan. The coverage scope is, given, let's just give a couple examples. Like a broken arm or cancer, full coverage. Okay. If those aren't pre existing conditions and you had this coverage in place, they're going to take care of you. There's no policy maximums. That's another thing. Unlimited lifetime benefits. So there's no maximum limit. Let's say if you have a medical event that comes up this year and you're on this coverage, it's not going to cap you in future years. That's important for your peace of mind to make sure you're covered there as well. Um, Enrollment, year-round enrollment. We're not subject to special enrollment periods like what we have with the Affordable Care Act, where you basically got to qualify or prove that you are allowed to get into a special enrollment period. Now, it's any time. Now, remember, this is important. If I'm recording this show on Monday, June 8th, and as long as we visit with these clients, we've got many that we're having to help get across the finish line by the 20th of the month, we can make sure we get them first of the month effective coverage. Now, if that's not the case, sometimes the Affordable Care Act will be a better option. We have until the end of the month for next day coverage next month. You can't retroactive these plans and coverage. So the sooner you reach out to us, the better. I'm going to wrap up here with a few more details on the sheet. The cost on ages, remember, 20 years old on our health coverage option as an alternative, $126.58 a month. Okay. Versus a 60-year-old would be $537.59 a month. All right. These plans are significantly less expensive than the marketplace or unsubsidized coverage. So you probably want to reach out to us and see what we can do to help you out with that. You want the lower exposure? Remember, we can do lower out of pocket maximums. We've got some versatility there. Um, when is our health coverage option going to be right for you? Well, let's say you're healthy, and you don't qualify for a ACA subsidy. This is where we're going to help you out with lower cost coverage. Maybe you're a employed professional or freelancer. This is going to be a solution for you on maybe lower cost health coverage and insurance. Small business owners not offering group coverage, give us a call. This is probably going to be a solution for most of your employees. Those who want real insurance, not a ministry or indemnity plan, this is where we are filling that void on the health insurance for you. Anyone paying $400 to $1,400 a month for coverage, they rarely use. We have a solution for you to be able to engage, and we just need a visit, and we'll quote it out for you. We'll do a complete comparison review. Our reviews are pretty slick. We're going to show you multiple options and then the alternatives, and you'll see exactly where the savings is. You'll see if there's any gaps in coverage, where you can mix and match those, and then it's just a matter of double checking medications and the prescriptions you're taking, as well as the doctors that you might be seeing as well, to make sure they're in network or if you need to make a change. Everybody, you've been listening to the Mad Insurance Show, making a difference in insurance. I'm your host, Justin Holland. Had a great co-host and guest host a minute ago with Eric Cooper, president and CEO of the San Antonio Food Bank. If you missed that part of the show, make sure you go to our YouTube channel and take a look at those clips. It's going to be youtube.com/at Mad Insurance Show. If you need any help or have questions regarding what we've discussed on the show, reach out to us at Texas State Insurance Services, 210-880-5316, or visit us online at txstateinsurance.com. We can help you out with all of your insurance needs, whether it's for your individuals, families, or businesses. We're here to help you. Thanks again for joining us on the Mad Insurance Show, everybody. We'll talk to you again next week. Take care, everybody. See ya.